The next clip comes from a mom named Misty, who recently shared something totally out of character for her. Unlike anything else on her channel, this particular post left her followers shaken and seriously unsettled. It's a brief recording she captured off her baby monitor, showing her daughter sound asleep in her crib. The strange part, though, is that despite her daughter barely stirring, the camera was detecting movement. Something else had to be responsible for that. Misty's first thought was that her older daughter might still be sharing this room, but that wasn't the case.
This room, now she's across the hall. But we got all the furniture in, the TV hung.
She had already moved into a different room in the house some time ago. So, if it wasn't her, then what exactly was setting off that movement? Misty keeps watching the footage, hoping something will reveal itself. And then, upon closer inspection, she spots it. Take a look at what she found. Disturbingly, it looks as though a figure is resting on the bunk bed, yet nobody was supposed to be sleeping there, or even in that room at all. Her older daughter once occupied that space, but she's long since moved on, which raises one very uncomfortable question. Who was that on the bed? Misty still doesn't have an answer, which is exactly why she's been uploading these videos, hoping someone out there might be able to help her make sense of it. Creepy enough on its own, but then one evening, while she was walking through that very same room where the figure had appeared, something nobody could have anticipated happened. See for yourself.
Okay, a lot of y'all were asking about the room situation, so I'm gonna run that through real quick. We moved my daughter from this room into this room. She got new furniture. That's why the bunk bed is still in there. This is the attic that's in between the rooms that I was talking about that's cracked. It's been that way for a while, so it's not something that I'm overly concerned about, but y'all have got me freaking out in the comments. I cannot even breathe walking in this room, so I am truly terrified, but I'm gonna walk y'all in here real quick. This is the bunk bed. This is where I took her out of her crib, ran up the bunk bed. There was nothing up there when I came. We have her rocking chair, her changing station, her closet with all of the stuff that we still need to put up. This is where I have everything that was gifted. I know a lot of y'all were saying check stuff that came from a thrift store or that wasn't yours, because it might be causing it. I will show you guys up here. There's nothing suspicious. There's no hair from like a rat or something that could have came in. This is marker. These are still tucked in on the sides, like they're still tight from, you know, if somebody was trying to be underneath the blankets. I don't think that's plausible, so I don't know. I have no idea what could be causing it.
Out of nowhere, a rocking chair sitting in the corner of the room starts moving completely on its own, with no one nearby who could have caused it. Given what had already shown up on camera just nights before, Misty is now convinced this room has some kind of presence in it. She hasn't stepped foot back inside since, and she's made it clear she won't until her husband returns from his work trip. Until then, exactly who or what was caught on that camera remains an open question. Imagine you're standing in your own neighborhood when you suddenly hear someone screaming for their life. What would you do? This unsettling scene was recorded by a doorbell camera in the Leimert Park area of Los Angeles back in 2019. A vehicle can be spotted rolling past the home, while the desperate cries of a woman pleading for help echo from somewhere inside it. Once reports of a possible abduction began circulating, the footage pushed law enforcement to open an investigation. Officers who responded to the scene initially stated they could find no solid evidence that a kidnapping had taken place, yet the video itself tells a very different story. The woman's screams and frantic pleas continue for over half a minute. The car drifts past the camera at around 11 o'clock at night, right as the homeowner steps out her front door to figure out what's going on. She also recalled hearing a male voice utter the word, "sorry." In her account, the video appears to show the man grabbing the woman by the hair while she sits in the passenger seat. The car then pulls away from the area with its trunk left wide open. Once the clip made its way online, police launched a full investigation into a potential abduction, though it ultimately failed to produce any conclusive answers. On July 1st, 2025, a TikTok user named Emily uploaded a disturbing clip recorded during her overnight DoorDash delivery shift. Strange run-ins come with the territory in that line of work, but what she encountered on this particular night was on a completely different level. In the video, Emily walks up to a customer's apartment door, and just as she gets within reach, it slowly swings open by itself, with no one visibly standing behind it. She announces herself, telling whoever is inside that their order has arrived, when a voice from somewhere within the apartment tells her to step inside.
Hello?
Hello?
I have your DoorDash order.
Can you put it on the stool, please?
I'm not really supposed to come into houses.
It's just inside the door.
It doesn't
It's
really
not far.
matter how far it is. I'm not supposed to.
Please? It would make it easier for me.
It's just kind of. Can't you just come to the door? It's just kind of a safety hazard for me to come in the house.
No, I can't come to the door. Can you put it on the stool?
Okay,
It's easy, it's just inside.
I'll just leave it here. I'm not allowed to come inside, and I will not come inside.
Come on, it's not hard.
Emily holds her ground and declines, making it clear that entering a customer's residence isn't something she's permitted to do. The unseen individual keeps pushing, eventually cursing at her as she places the food on the ground and walks away. Commenters were fast to zero in on two particularly eerie details. The first was that multiple people noticed the voice coming from inside the apartment sounds strikingly close to Emily's own voice, sparking theories about a mimic, a creature from folklore believed to replicate human voices in order to draw victims in. The second detail that raised eyebrows was that she appeared to already be filming before she ever reached the door, though Emily addressed this afterward by saying it's simply a precaution she takes for her own safety, which many drivers do routinely. Naturally, not everyone is convinced something supernatural was at play. There are those who think a person inside may have been deliberately trying to lure her in, and others who suspect the whole thing was fabricated or doctored for views. Even so, the combination of a door opening on its own, a voice that sounds like hers, and the relentless pressure to enter makes this footage genuinely hard to shake. We head to Jerusalem for a clip that many viewers are describing as nothing short of a genuine miracle. The footage was recorded just last month, on January 19th, 2026, during a service held at the renowned Church of the Ascension on the Mount of Olives. One of those in attendance was filming the service on their phone, simply wanting to preserve the memory, but upon reviewing the footage afterward, they discovered they had recorded something that has left the entire congregation absolutely speechless. As the camera settles on the nuns leading the service, direct your attention to the space behind them. A figure moves across the back of the room, but this is no ordinary person. The figure radiates such an overwhelming brightness that no facial features or distinguishing details can be made out whatsoever. It is quite simply a luminous presence in motion. Now, skeptics were quick to dismiss this as a camera malfunction or severe overexposure from the sunlight streaming in. But here's where it gets interesting. The footage was captured in the middle of the day, The nuns are positioned less than 2 feet from this glowing figure. If the camera's exposure were blown out enough to reduce a human being to a ball of pure light, the nuns and the walls surrounding them should be completely washed out as well. And yet they're not. The lighting across everything else in the frame looks entirely natural. For that reason, many within the congregation are calling this undeniable proof of a guardian angel standing watch over the service. So is this simply a trick of light from the Jerusalem sun? Or did one unsuspecting churchgoer accidentally film something divine? That call is yours to make. During a recent storm system, someone snapped a photo that's been generating quite a stir across the internet. The story goes that they were simply shooting pictures of the sky when something caught their eye, and after zooming in, there it was staring back at them. The shot, which has an almost black and white quality thanks to the turbulent lighting, shows a strange shadowy shape hovering high above the cloud layer. On first look, you might write it off as an unusual cloud formation, but give it a second glance. What you'll start to make out is what seems to be an enormous creature lurking up in the sky. Its outline features a long, extended neck, broad sweeping wings, and a body that's just an odd shape altogether. Honestly, it reads like something ripped straight from the pages of a fantasy epic. A lot of people are jumping straight to dragon, and look, it sounds ridiculous, but the resemblance is genuinely hard to shake. On the skeptical side, people are suggesting it's probably just a perfectly mistimed shot of churning storm clouds, or possibly even a frame from some film that someone's been passing around as authentic footage. But here's the thing, if it were from a movie, surely somebody out there would recognize it, right? And yet nobody seems to be able to place it, which is exactly what keeps feeding the speculation. My interns are fully convinced it's a dragon, but hey, they're interns. What do you all think? Man is simply trying to get through some late-night work at the office when he begins picking up strange sounds coming from outside. Rather than ignore it, he pulls up the CCTV feed to figure out what's going on. Nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to see. Surveillance cameras have a way of catching things that defy explanation. Ghostly shapes drifting through deserted corridors. Objects shifting on their own with no one around. These fleeting, soundless moments generate both dread and obsession, particularly when there's simply no rational way to account for what appears to have been recorded in the dead of night. Not everything making noise outside your window can be blamed on the breeze. Sometimes, whatever is out there is already looking right back at you.
Open the door.
This chilling footage was recorded by a man named Anton, who lives by himself in a Paris, France apartment. On April 17th, 2024, however, an ordinary day took a terrifying turn. It started like any other workday. Anton was sitting at home, eyes on his laptop, when his doorbell went off. He didn't think much of it at first, but as he got up and moved toward the door, the ringing escalated into loud, frantic pounding. That's the moment Anton realized something wasn't right. His instincts took over, and rather than opening the door, he pulled out his phone and hit record. Here's what his camera picked up.
Open the door. Please, open the door. Please. Please, open the door. Please.
I really started to be scared. He stayed quiet at my door for at least 20 minutes.
I don't know if he's still here. I just called the cops. They should be here in 10 minutes.
Open the door.
And after a wait that seemed endless, the police finally arrived.
Hello, sir. You shouldn't be here, please. Let's go. For us.
Anton made the smart decision. He called the police, who showed up fast, escorted the man out of the building, and took him in for questioning. For a moment, Anton could breathe again. The threat had passed. Things felt calm. Then his phone rang. It was the authorities. Hear what they had to say.
Yeah, hello?
So we proceed to arrest the individual who followed you to your home, but he has no criminal record and he has committed no offense. So I wanted to inform you that he has been released.
Wait, but if he comes back, what should I do?
Well, you'll have to call us back, sir. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Anton couldn't believe it. The man had been let go. No charges filed, no warning issued, just released back into the world. How could someone who behaved like that simply walk free? Shaken and angry, Anton took to TikTok to sound the alarm and show everyone exactly what had gone down. His point was simple. There are dangerous people out there, and situations like this are still happening far more often than they should, even now. So please, keep your guard up and look out for yourselves. This deeply unsettling footage took me an incredibly long time to find. I originally came across it on Facebook sometime in 2011. It was posted by a woman living in Argentina who had been recording an adorable clip of her young son at play. But within just a couple of seconds, something occurs that would unsettle just about anybody. The mother has her camera on her child. Everything feels warm and ordinary, when out of nowhere a small humanoid shape shoots out from the front room and races toward the side of a wardrobe. When you break it down frame by frame, the body shape, the gait, the way it moves, it all lines up with a miniature human being. This footage went viral back when YouTube was barely 6 years old. Personally, I don't believe it's been faked or digitally altered. The motion looks entirely organic. The moment the creature dashes to the other side, the mother audibly panics, and her baby leans down to peer after it. Despite searching the entire area, she comes up completely empty. This clip sparked enormous debate at the time, because nobody could definitively prove what it showed. Strangely enough, watching it today calls to mind the Pukwudgies said to inhabit the forests of Massachusetts. The Wampanoag people have spoken of these enigmatic beings for generations. They're described as small, human-like creatures standing anywhere from 2 to 3 feet tall or shorter, concealed deep within the woodland. In 2017, people visiting Freetown Fall River State Forest reported spotting a tiny human-shaped figure weaving between the trees before disappearing entirely. Some dismissed it as a child or an animal caught in the shadows. Others were convinced it matched ancient Pukwudgie lore almost exactly. Perhaps whatever this is strayed out of the forest one day. What's your take on what this actually was? Leave your theory down in the comments. Around 14 years back, a Mexican band was wrapping up what would be their final performance together. Since one of their members was relocating to a distant city, everything about the show seemed to go off without a hitch, right up until they sat down to review the recorded footage and spotted something that sent chills down their spines. Pay very close attention to what shows up.
You are about to enter the strange world of Mr. Davis.
If you look carefully, you can make out a disturbing young girl with a pale, distorted face peering out from the narrow gap behind the television. and then just moments later, during the same performance, she's completely gone. The band members believe this was the spirit of a close friend they had lost to suicide several years earlier, seemingly returning one last time to witness the group's farewell show before they went their separate ways. This TikTok account has only a single upload to its name, but that one clip is more than enough to send a chill down your spine. The person behind it claims he was completely by himself in a public restroom late at night when an unsettling feeling began to wash over him. Acting on instinct, he pulled out his phone and hit record. Here's what his camera picked up.
Y'all ever been in a bathroom skipping alone, bro? This shit is crazy. So I'm in here, bro, just alone, and it's like mad weird, bro, cause it's like, what if there was some monster or some shit just pop up on me? That shit would be crazy, bro. But I don't know. It's like there's nobody in here. You could come out and shit. I don't even know, bro, but yeah, there's nobody right here, bro, but this shit's crazy, bro. I don't know, but that shit's mad weird.
He pans around the entire bathroom, confirming there's nobody else in there with him. The atmosphere stays quiet and still, right up until he swings back toward the entrance. That's the moment the last stall door begins to creep open on its own, and something, or someone, slowly peers out from behind it. Overcome with fear, the man bolts out of there instantly, and the footage cuts off just like that. The absence of any real explanation, combined with that dim, eerie setting, only makes the whole thing feel that much more unsettling. So where do you land on this one? Was this a genuine brush with the paranormal, or an elaborately staged prank? Has anything remotely like this ever happened to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Some viewers think this might be a glitchy or remotely hijacked Roomba, while others are convinced there's something far more supernatural at play, especially considering the dog's aggressive behavior in the earlier clip. Whatever the truth is, this ranks among the most unsettling examples of technology gone strange that the internet has seen. A man by the name of Robert Earl White uploaded a deeply unnerving video to his TikTok back in May of 2025, showing himself moving through the woods in the dead of night, with nothing but a flashlight cutting through the dark. We're not entirely sure what drew him out there, perhaps chasing down some disturbing local rumors, but whatever his reason, it doesn't take long before something terrifying crosses his path.
Alright, no lie. I heard someone stomping in the woods. Something huge.
Almost immediately in the footage, you can clearly distinguish a tall, spindly figure gazing straight into the camera before vanishing into the shadows. Most people would have turned around on the spot, but Robert chooses to keep going, a decision that quickly leads him into yet another hair-raising encounter. Further into the footage, we see a trail illuminated by... This channel is run by a man who makes his home deep in the wilderness alongside his family. Following a string of deeply unsettling incidents, he chose to set up cameras across his property. And late one night, one of those cameras recorded something that stopped him dead in his tracks. Creeping out from the pitch-black tree line, a barely recognizable shape slowly came into view. The disturbing entity, appeared to have naturally elongated, spindly arms, unlike anything I've come across before. 5 days after that, another alert from the same camera came through. This time, the footage offered a horrifyingly clear look at whatever had been hiding out in those woods. That same eerie figure suddenly appeared from the darkness once again, its movement slow and unnervingly wrong in every way. Those disturbingly stretched arms and pale grey body were impossible to mistake as it lurched to the right and disappeared back into the shadows. Safe to say, this was no animal. As far as explanations go, we're really only left with two options. Either we're looking at some kind of ghost, or a very strange individual who could seriously use some time in the sun. The man who posted this footage explained that he'd been keeping an eye on his nephew remotely through a security camera when he noticed something that didn't quite add up. He brought it up with the boy the following day, and the child told him he'd been playing with another boy who had come to join him. The security camera clearly shows the nephew by himself in the room, but within just a few seconds, a second child appears in the frame. If this boy was the only one there, then what exactly are we looking at? What makes this even harder to shake off is that this mysterious figure looks strikingly similar to the nephew himself. So is this so-called imaginary friend really just a product of a child's imagination? Or is something else entirely going on here? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Antonio is a paranormal enthusiast based in Peru who has built a reputation for venturing into abandoned and supposedly haunted places. On one particular night, he set his sights on an old colonial structure that locals had long believed to be cursed. The building had been largely forgotten by the world around it, crumbling and silent. Yet residents of the area insisted that something unnatural still dwelled within its walls. He kicked off a live stream the moment he walked through the entrance, relying solely on his phone's light to navigate the darkness. Things felt relatively ordinary at first, but the mood shifted without warning. Antonio stopped dead in his tracks when a window nearby began to move by itself.
Carajo. Madre, loco. Lo he tocado, sí, pero con una piedra. ¿Hola? 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 Los ruidos vienen del techo. Del techo vienen los sonidos. ¡Uy! ¡Cara! ¡Hola! ¡Hola! ¡Qué verga! ¡Carajo!
It swung and groaned slowly, even though not a breath of wind was present. Shortly after, deeply unsettling sounds began bouncing off the walls, resembling a group of people murmuring amongst themselves. The whispers seemed to radiate from every direction simultaneously, making it nearly impossible to pinpoint their source. While Antonio anxiously scanned the ceiling above him, a new and different sound cut through the air. It was a soft, gentle giggle, like a child lost in play. What his camera caught next was nothing short of terrifying. A faint, ghostly shape resembling a small child flickered briefly in the shadows before vanishing. Overcome with fear, Antonio bolted from the building without second thought. Once he had gathered himself, he went back in to confirm what he had witnessed. But the instant he crossed the threshold again, the strange sounds resumed, and those watching the stream noticed something far more disturbing.
Ven. Ven. ¡Qué verga! Alonso.
A ver.
Hola.
Hola. Hola.
Uy, carajo.
Dile, ¿te quieres comunicar conmigo? Dile.
Uy, lo jalaron. Lo arrastraron. Oye, lo arrastraron. Lo arrastraron, loco.
Whatever presence occupied that building had never gone anywhere. This footage comes from a man venturing through an abandoned hospital. The clip was posted by an account called Andredems and is pulled directly from one of his live streams recorded on location at this reportedly haunted building. At some point during his exploration, something extraordinary was picked up by his camera. Keep your eyes peeled. What you're looking at appears to be the silhouette of a nurse pushing a hospital bed. When the footage is slowed down and the frame is zoomed in, the figure looks as though it's gliding above the ground and is partially see-through. As the man moves toward it, the shape vanishes without a trace, with nothing left behind except an empty patient bed sitting along the roadside. The facility in question is called RSK Tayu, a place that has built quite a reputation around supernatural legends and unsettling stories. Residents of the surrounding area have long reported witnessing bizarre and unexplained phenomena at this site. State Hospital in Connecticut has sat empty since 1996. For decades, this facility housed thousands of patients, and a great many of them never made it out. The structures are crumbling, the corridors are pitch black, and most people refuse to set foot on the grounds after dark. But one group of urban explorers decided that nighttime was exactly when they wanted to go. They'd already walked through several of the other buildings on the property without much incident. But the second they entered the administration building, something shifted. You can hear it immediately, these bizarre repeating sounds, as if someone is standing right beside them. Yet when they look around, there's no one. They are entirely alone in that building, and then it gets worse.
That's not my phone. That's not my phone. You heard that, right? I don't know. Dude, I swear.
Now the fear is taking over. They go back and forth trying to make sense of what just happened. One of them swears on his own life that it wasn't him.
Dude, I swear to God it wasn't me.
Oh my god, look at that.
One of them glances down the corridor and sees something that sends all of them into a full panic. In an abandoned building, in the dead of night, the footage cuts shortly after, and honestly, who could blame them for running? Someone else uploaded video from a vacant building that previously functioned as a hospital. It's been converted into office space since then, but slapping a new name on the door doesn't mean whatever was lingering there actually packed up and left. The door swings wide open on its own, no person in sight, just a still, empty hallway and a door that moved all by itself. Deep in the West Virginia mountains sits an old abandoned house that once belonged to a coal miner, the kind of place at the end of a dirt road that the rest of the world has completely forgotten about. Back in 2020, YouTuber Dan Bell and his team set out to investigate the property after word reached them that it was haunted. The instant they walked through the front door, their REM pod went absolutely haywire. But what made it strange wasn't just that the device was triggering, it was that it seemed to be directing them through the house, almost as if something inside had been patiently waiting for visitors to finally show up.
It is going off.
Wow, that thing is really going off.
I don't want to turn this corner, man. Oh my god, it's like pitch black. Holy shit.
Go on.
Whatever resided in that house pulled them straight upstairs into the total darkness of the second floor, and the device grew louder and more frantic with every step they took. Then, without any warning, one of the crew felt a sharp impact on his back, a small stone or pebble that had come from nowhere because there was absolutely nobody standing behind him. That's the moment they understood this wasn't just leftover energy. Something in that house was deliberately reaching out to them.
My God.
What?
I literally just got pelted in the back with a rock, with a pebble or something.
Oh, you just hit the antenna. Holy.
They followed the signal deeper into the upstairs rooms, and before they even touched one of the doors, they could hear movement on the other side. The REM pod was lighting up like it was holding an actual back and forth with whatever was waiting just beyond that threshold.
I think it wants to go in here. Want to go in here? Oh. Just f something in this room.
Hello?
Oh, well, that's interesting.
So they began asking questions, and what came back was enough to chill anyone to the bone. The spirit communicated that it was young, under 20 years old, and that it had actually lived in this house. But when they asked whether it wanted them to go, the answer was no, almost as though this presence had spent a very long time waiting for somebody to finally pay attention to what had happened to it.
What are you? Are you over 20? Are you under 20?
Under 20?
You're under 20? Did you live here?
I don't want to be.
Do you want us to leave? Do you want us to leave?
Oh,
I'm gonna ask again. Do you want us to leave? I don't think it wants us to leave.
Then the spirit began guiding them somewhere, and you could hear in the crew's voices that they already had a sinking feeling about the destination.
Where downstairs did you sleep? Will you show Brennan? Let the box show him?
Oh no. Fuck this. That. And everything it stands for. Did you see that when I
Do you want us to go to the basement?
Did you stay in the basement? My heart is like beating right now.
You lived down with the furnace?
What?
You slept next to the furnace? Did you sleep next to the furnace?
It brought them directly to the basement, right beside a corroded old furnace that looked untouched for generations. And what unfolded next is where this whole investigation crosses from unsettling into something genuinely disturbing. Every question they asked about the basement produced a response that painted an increasingly dark picture.
Buried in the basement. Is your body in the basement?
I don't like this anymore. I don't want to hold
Just
this.
chill. This is really interesting.
I don't want to hold it.
So wait, you're buried in the basement? Is your body in the basement?
Are there others buried in the basement? Your whole family?
Were you murdered in this house?
Oh, there's a little blip there.
Did someone kill you?
Is that person in the house with us?
Did the person who killed you, are they here?
This. Are they watching us right now? I don't want to know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Just try to chill and like take it seriously.
Yeah, Dan. Okay, can we back away from this basement?
If we go down in the basement, can you show us where you're buried?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Careful, Dan.
I'm fine.
Holy.
Hey, you give me a light here for my foot?
Okay, you got it.
Alright, so I'm not.
Then came the question that changed the entire tone of the night. They asked how this person had died, and when the answer came through, one crew member flatly stated he wanted no part of this anymore. Another started swearing out loud, because the spirit didn't simply confirm that something terrible had happened to it. It told them precisely how and precisely where, and they were standing right next to that very spot.
The furnace. That's a yes.
Were you burned in the furnace? Oh my god.
I'm being genuine. You're not touching anything, Brennan. You're holding the REM pod by the case, correct?
Look at my hand right now and it's still going off.
I just want to say this because I can't be sure the
You can
video.
watch it on the camera. You're literally recording.
Come on, we're not. There's no fake right here.
I'm not. I wouldn't be this freaked out if I was faking it.
So, were you burned in this furnace?
One of the crew members held the REM pod away from his body and told the camera to watch his hands to prove he wasn't faking any of this, because even he couldn't believe what the device was telling them. They kept pushing for answers after that, trying to figure out who was responsible, and one by one they went through the possibilities until the...
But the investigation still wasn't finished, because moments later, one of the crew felt something behind him. Something cold, something gentle, like tiny fingers pressing softly against his skin. The REM pod confirmed that the spirit had been positioned directly behind him the entire time he'd been speaking.
I can feel you behind me. Are you touching my hands?
Is it still the same person we've been talking to this whole time?
Can you wait a second? Are you behind me? Are you touching my hands? I knew it. I can feel someone touching my hands. It feels like little like not little hands, but it feels very soft.
Are we speaking to somebody?
He asked whether, if he turned around, he'd be able to see the spirit. And at that exact instant, something shifted in the corner of the room. Then the device revealed something that stopped all of them cold, because they weren't dealing with just one presence down there. There were others with them in that basement.
The shadow over there moved.
I just saw right next to you. Are there more than one ghost in here? Yes. So there's more than one spirit in this room? Because... Right, so who was next? Was that you next to Brennan? No?
Then footsteps began echoing from the floor directly above them, even though every member of the crew was standing right there in the basement, fully accounted for. At that point, they offered their thanks to whoever they'd been communicating with and got themselves out of that house.
Ooh. I could feel this. I could feel. It was so weird.
I can't believe this thing.
It felt like hands were touching my hands. Like if you put your hands behind your back, like it felt like very cold, but not like physical, but like.
Yeah.
Can you touch me?
She doesn't want to touch Rick.
What'd you?
Anything to do with it.
Would you two shut up?
Do you like Rick? This guy? Yes or no?
Oh my god, stay quiet.
I saw something next to you when I felt the hands.
Good.
Can you leave this house? Yes? No? Can't leave the house.
Are there more than one of you down here with us? Well, I'd say that's a yes.
Is there anybody upstairs?
Did you hear that?
I hear footsteps. Do you know who that is? Yes or no?
Dan Bell has walked through hundreds of abandoned locations all across the country, but when it was all over, even he admitted that nothing in his experience had ever come close to what happened that night. This next clip comes from a live broadcast of a football game in 2014 that has recently sparked quite the heated debate across the internet. The match was held in Argentina, pitting Racing against River Plate. Everything appeared completely ordinary at the time, but sharp-eyed viewers who revisited the footage noticed something deeply unsettling. A see-through figure can be observed moving at speed through the crowd, and what makes it even more chilling is that nobody around it seems to react at all. It wasn't until the footage made its way online that people began picking up on this mysterious presence weaving through the spectators. and as usual, nobody can agree on what it actually is. Many viewers argue that the figure looks far too human in shape to be written off as some kind of technical artifact, yet the fact that it appears to pass directly through multiple people's bodies suggests there may be something truly supernatural going on here. A school teacher stayed after hours one evening to decorate his classroom, getting everything ready for a celebration he had planned with his students the following morning. At that point, the only two people remaining in the building were him and the janitor. Then something caught his attention, something that didn't feel right, and he pulled out his phone and began filming. What unfolded from that moment was genuinely terrifying. See for yourself.
I'm just finishing up, putting up decorations for the students when they get back. I was on the smart board, setting things up. I'm taking a step back, and you guys know me. I stay late often. It's just me here and the janitor, and let me show you. Do you see? I mean, is that not a kid sitting right there?
Reflected in the screen, a mysterious humanoid shape was visible, perched on one of the chairs. The teacher's panic was immediate the moment he spotted the eerie silhouette. He spun around to face it directly, but the chair was completely empty. The following day, he recorded a second video from the same spot, and the contrast speaks for itself. This time, the chair showed absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. Then, just a few days later, another video emerged from that very same school. According to those who shared it, a young girl had lost her life approximately 1 month prior, in that same building, in that very classroom.
What is happening? I wanted to respect their privacy, but they just put a girl in the back of the ambulance. And the dad was running, and the poor mom was crying her head off.
A lot of people became convinced that the translucent shape the teacher had captured in his reflection was none other than her lingering spirit. A few years back, a shipyard was up and running in a small American city, just another hub of heavy industrial work, until a devastating accident changed everything. One of the female workers was fatally crushed by the very machine she operated, and the tragedy proved too much for the facility to come back from. It eventually closed its doors for good, but the story didn't end there. Some years down the line, the site was brought back to life with an entirely new identity, a large-scale storage warehouse. Yet from the moment operations began, the staff could sense something was off. Workers started reporting unexplained noises, doors shifting on their own, and a persistent feeling that unseen eyes were following their every move. And one employee even managed to capture something deeply unsettling right in front of him. That's the moment things took a turn nobody was prepared for. In the recording, the man watches as a door swings open with no one anywhere near it. The movement is unmistakable. Acting on instinct, he heads straight for the spot to investigate. But there's nothing waiting for him. Just an empty corridor, no signs of anyone having been there, no evidence of a break-in, no rational explanation whatsoever. What made it worse was that this wasn't a one-time occurrence. Not long after, during another shift, he was going through the security camera feeds when something on one of the monitors stopped him cold. That's when the dread really began to sink in.
No, I ain't seen this. Oh my God! What the fuck? Y'all, this shit is wild. It happened right in here. That is fucking...
The footage shows a figure cutting through one of the warehouse's interior sections. The shape moves quickly, but it's defined enough to make your skin crawl. He bolted to that area without a second thought, and history repeated itself. Not a soul in sight. The space was completely undisturbed, as though nothing had passed through it moments before. Neither he nor any of his co-workers can offer a reasonable explanation for what keeps happening inside that building. There are no system malfunctions, no signs of unauthorized entry, and yet the incidents keep piling up. A theory has quietly taken hold among the workforce that the woman who lost her life in that accident never truly left, that her presence still wanders the grounds of the old shipyard, even beneath its new roof. No proof has emerged, no answers have been confirmed, and whatever is really going on inside those walls continues to defy explanation. A man went through something deeply unsettling while cradling his beloved pet cat. Everything appeared completely ordinary at first. The orange tabby lay peacefully in his arms as he stood still in the room. Then, within just a few seconds, something horrifying unfolded. Without any warning, a powerful, invisible force seemed to slam into his hand. His finger was wrenched backward at an unnatural angle, bending nearly 90 degrees, as though an unseen hand had deliberately seized it and forced it in the wrong direction. A sharp crack rang out from the joint, and an intense surge of pain tore through his hand instantly. Overwhelmed by both the shock and the agony, he dropped the cat immediately and clutched his injured hand, desperately trying to stabilize the bent finger, while his face contorted in pure suffering. It all happened so fast that anyone watching the footage afterward couldn't help but feel a cold shiver run through them. What makes this whole thing even harder to shake is that nobody else was present in that room at the time, just the man and his cat. With no obvious explanation available, many people who watched the clip started drawing their own conclusions, with quite a few convinced that some kind of invisible presence had made itself known. The following clips were recorded by a worker doing his rounds inside what appears to be a large commercial supermarket, checking expiration dates in the deli and dairy section late at night, alone, under the hum of fluorescent lights. He'd been hearing strange noises for a while before he started filming, and he mentions it almost casually at first, like he's trying to convince himself there's a simple explanation. He walks the main aisle slowly, narrating his confusion, until he turns down a narrower aisle and finds a broken package lying on the floor in the middle of it, as if it had already fallen before he arrived. He's mid-sentence trying to figure out what happened when this happens. Watch.
Es bien raro porque estoy checando mis caducidades que me tocó aquí en Salchonería y Lácteos, y curiosamente escuché que algo se cayó. Realmente no alcancé a ver qué fue lo que se cayó, pero sí escuché que se cayó algo Ya desde hace rato se andan escuchando ruidos pues extraños y realmente se cayeron unas galletas, creo. No sé, es muy extraño todo esto. Se cayeron unas galletas. ¡A la madre!
A second box shoots out from the shelf entirely on its own, horizontal, forceful, not a slow slide, and the man barely finishes his thought before the shock hits him. What makes the reaction so hard to dismiss is how unscripted it feels. The camera jerks violently. The Spanish expletive that follows isn't practiced, it's instinctive. Skeptics will argue retail shelves can be unstable and product shifts happen, but the movement here reads more like a throw than a topple, and there was already one fallen item on the floor before this one came off. That's 2 incidents in the same aisle with no one else visible. The activity doesn't stay in one spot though. Later in the same night, in the same building, he pushes through a plastic curtain into the commercial kitchen. Heavy breathing audible, camera still shaking, because he's heard another noise from inside. Watch.
Otra vez están escuchando ruidos. Estaba aquí haciendo el recorrido, pero escuché un ruido aquí adentro. No sé si estaba crujiendo algo o no sé si... No sé. Qué raro. Ya no sé realmente qué hacer. Todo me extraña de este lado. Ya no sé qué hacer. Ya realmente no sé qué es lo que voy a hacer. Ya no entiendo ni qué es lo que está... ¿Qué cojones? No mames. Sácate a la verga, al chile, pinche mamada. Su puta madre. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Hay alguien ahí? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué se ve ahí al fondo? Oh, no mames.
A loud metallic bang erupts with no visible source. Then the industrial oven's control panel, previously dark, activates suddenly with all its lights flashing red. He swears, he backs away, and then he notices something at the far end of a narrow dark gap behind the storage shelves. Before he can make sense of what he's looking at, a large cardboard box is shoved off the shelf directly toward him, and the camera cuts to black on his terrified yelp. Some people who've watched this think whatever is present in that building is becoming progressively more aggressive, escalating from something passive, objects already on the floor, to something actively directed at him. Others believe locations like this, with repetitive overnight labor and the kind of energy built up in industrial spaces over years, can attract or generate activity that responds to being witnessed. What's clear is that by the end of that second clip, he's no longer investigating the noises, he's running from them. The following clips were recorded by a woman and her young daughter, Sarah, inside their home late at night. And what makes this case particularly unsettling is that the activity didn't happen once and stop. It kept building. In the first clip, the woman is filming herself in the kitchen, visibly shaken, while Sarah sits on the counter behind her. She explains that just moments earlier, she heard knocking traveling down the hallway, followed by what sounded like quick footsteps, and Sarah heard them too, independently, without prompting. The woman points her phone toward a dark hallway near the staircase, speaking in a hushed voice about shadows she's seen there before, figures that seem to peek over the banister and disappear. You can feel the tension in the way she holds the camera, steady but uncertain. Then, just as they're trying to calm down, Sarah suddenly reacts to a new sound. Listen closely.
It's just really weird. We just heard. What did you hear? Oh, you heard. I just heard knocking coming all the way down the hallway. And she's like, "Is that Daddy?" I said, "No." I said, "Daddy's taking his shower right now."
But I heard footsteps too.
You heard footsteps? Is that what it was? I heard that too. And our dog is right here. The cat is way back in the bedroom. But we just heard... Hold up. I just heard footsteps way down there. Like, sometimes I'll see shadows over there at that staircase. Like going up. Or like peeking over the banister. I don't know. That was like really weird. So.
We'll make our snack, but if you see anything, that's super weird, like if you see like a shadow or like somebody.
Oh, we hope we don't see somebody.
Yeah.
That won't be good. Yeah. But no, we just heard, it sounded like quick walking. It was like really quick and it sounded like it came, I can't tell if that came from like upstairs where we've been hearing things or
downstairs.
Or like down at the
hallway.
entry.
Yeah.
We keep.
I just heard something.
You heard something again?
Yeah, it was said like something 2 times.
Okay, what did it sound like?
It sounded like 2 times.
That's really weird.
It was like a zip, but it wasn't a zip. Like it wasn't like.
Did it sound like more like a whisper?
It whispered, and it just said like that.
Okay, let's make our snack and go to the bed. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm pretty scared.
The child describes hearing a whisper, a sound, twice, and the woman, clearly disturbed, confirms it sounded like a whisper, not a mechanical noise. What makes this hard to dismiss is that the two of them weren't feeding off each other's panic. Sarah heard something the woman didn't, described it independently, and her description held up under questioning. By the end, both of them admitted they were scared, and they decided to just make a snack and go to bed. That decision became its own kind of horror. In the second clip, the phone is set down on the counter, and the camera is static as they move through the kitchen together. Watch.
Sarah, did you say you wanted a snack? You said you wanted a snack? Okay.
Can I help you do your biddings?
You heard that?
Meow?
No, it sounded like that noise you heard earlier.
Maybe it's just like a rat. So
We don't have that here. Let's go grab some of the stuff. What else do you want?
I'll take strawberries with milk. I want milk because milk are healthy.
We'll do a healthy snack together. Does that sound good?
Okay, I'm gonna get on the table because I'm pretty scared because if you heard that noise, you heard it, cause I heard that like earlier. I heard it earlier, so while I was sitting there, I heard it.
Yeah, you heard you said it sounded like a snake sound, but it sounded like somebody talking at the same time.
I don't know. It was a snake or a what?
But if you were talking, you don't know what?
So I don't know. It's a snake or a person talking or a rat. I don't.
Okay, that was really weird. My phone just completely glitched.
Yeah.
It froze.
Yeah. And
into one spot, and I was like, "Oh, I got a weird." You got a shiver feeling? You got like a weird shiver vibe feeling that just like it feels. It's got like really cold in here.
Oh yeah.
That was really weird.
Yeah, like I don't know. Was that like a snake, a person?
I don't know, but I mean, like that was like the phone glitched.
Yeah.
She's telling her story, and it was just.
Yeah, I'm telling my story.
Did I just see a flash? I don't know. It was really weird.
A loud, layered noise erupts from the direction of that dark hallway. Something that sounds like a deep growl, tangled with a metallic screech, aggressive enough to make the dog look up too. Then, almost immediately after Sarah tries to describe it, the phone violently glitches, the video freezes, the audio drops out completely, and when it recovers, the woman is standing there shaking, saying the room has suddenly gone ice cold. In paranormal research, a sudden temperature drop combined with electronic interference is one of the more frequently reported combinations, often associated with what investigators call an active presence drawing energy from its environment. Skeptics will point to a drafty house and a phone overheating, but the timing, the glitch happening in the exact moment the child is describing the sound, is the part that's genuinely difficult to explain away. So what exactly is in that hallway? Now in this next video, a man is alone at night inside what looks like an office break room or storage area, filming in complete darkness, and he's already terrified before anything even happens. He'd apparently been telling people something strange was going on in this room, and nobody believed him. So he went back in with his phone as his only light source, breathing heavy, scanning the space. Then the sound started. Watch.
Bạn hỏi mọi người không tin. Tụi như luôn. Đứng đỏ. Phải đúng. I know.
First, there's a rustling in the dark, then a loud bang that sends him scrambling for the light switch. Once the room's lit up, he pans around and the camera settles on something sitting on top of the metal lockers, a large red bag of snacks. That's when it moves. No one near it, no vibration you can point to, no draft. It just scrapes forward several inches on its own, with an audible sound that makes him recoil immediately. He reaches out to touch it, almost like he needs to confirm it's real. Some viewers think an animal could explain the sounds in the dark, but that bag moving in a fully lit, clearly visible room is a lot harder to explain away. What do you think was in that room with him? In this next clip, an overnight caregiver had been noticing strange activity at the same time every night, consistent enough that they decided to act like they were asleep and secretly hide a phone to record what was happening. The caregiver works with a female patient who, according to their account, is completely unable to walk. That's the detail you need to hold on to before watching this. Listen closely. A woman steps partially into the doorway from the adjacent room, hunched forward at the waist, hands resting on her thighs, staring directly toward where the caregiver is lying. She doesn't move, not a flinch, not a shift in weight. According to the text, she stood in that exact position for over an hour. Many believe this could be a case of something else entirely occupying the patient's body. Others think it's sleepwalking, though that explanation does little to account for the posture. What would you do if you looked up and saw that? This next video was shared by a lady whose brother had just moved into a new place in Texas, and within what appears to be the first day or two of settling in, before the furniture was even properly arranged, things began moving on their own. The mattress was still wrapped in plastic, the dresser hadn't been placed yet, and according to the person filming, something was already making itself known inside that apartment. Watch. The dresser slides across the laminate floor, slowly at first, a deliberate scraping drag that fills the room, then lurches forward a second time before the camera swings down to the mattress, where indentations press into the plastic wrap as the entire thing is pulled across the floor toward the brother sitting nearby. What makes this harder to dismiss is the texture of those indentations. Not a single pull, but the kind of uneven pressure you'd expect from something stepping and dragging at the same time. Some viewers immediately pointed to poltergeist activity, and that term carries real weight here. The word itself comes from the German poltern, meaning to rattle or make noise, and Geist, meaning spirit, a noisy ghost, historically associated with physical disturbance rather than visual apparition. What separates a poltergeist from other hauntings, according to many who study these cases, is the sense of intention behind the movement. Objects don't just fall, they're directed. Skeptics argue fishing line and an off-camera accomplice could explain both pieces of furniture, but the synchronized scraping audio and the progressive movement of the mattress give a lot of viewers pause. That same apartment appears to be the setting for the next clip, this time captured by a static security camera at around 9 a.m. on the 25th of March, 2026, as the man moves through the hallway, cleaning and organizing the space. The room is dim, the mattress still wrapped in plastic and propped against the wall, and something is already audible before anything visible happens. Listen closely. Beneath the ambient room tone, a constant layered stream of distorted whispers runs through nearly the entire clip. Some viewers claim to make out phrases, with one voice appearing to say, "Let us be free," before a loud bang slams from somewhere off camera, twice, and in the background doorway, a dark silhouette appears for just a moment, then disappears, followed seconds later by a faint, wispy shape drifting through the opposite entryway. The man doesn't seem to react. Either he didn't notice, or he's gotten used to it. The whispers themselves are strange because they don't behave like environmental audio. They layer and overlap in a way that some describe as electronic, almost processed, which has split viewers. Some believe the apartment is genuinely saturated with something, while others think the audio was added in post. But then there are those bangs, and that silhouette, and the fact that both clips exist from the same location. Whatever moved that furniture on the first day might not have stopped. The question is whether that presence is content to stay in the background, or whether those whispers were a warning of something still building. You tell me. The following clip was recorded by a girl on her 15th birthday. The house was full of relatives, music playing in the background, wrapping paper scattered across the floor as she laughed and unwrapped gift after gift. At one point, she picked up her phone to film a short video for her school friends, wanting to show them one of the dolls she had just received. But before she could even finish the video, something happened. Watch.
Bueno, aquí les presentamos a la muñeca de Bessie que se la regalaron a sus 15 años.
As she holds the doll up, its head slowly turns toward her. It rotates deliberately, stopping at an angle that makes it appear as though it's looking directly at her, but there's no visible mechanism inside it. No motor, no battery compartment, no switch. After seeing the video, her parents immediately took the doll away, but the panic wasn't just about the movement, it was about where it came from. The doll may have been purchased by a guest from a thrift store, meaning its history was completely unknown, and that's where the fear deepens. In paranormal lore, objects, especially dolls, are often described as vessels, not because they're inherently evil, but because their human-like features make them symbolic anchors. If something were attached to that doll, removing it from sight wouldn't necessarily remove the attachment itself. Some believe that once an object has been inside a home, whatever is connected to it can linger even after it's discarded. There are countless stories online of people throwing dolls away, only to find them returned to their porch, back in storage boxes, or replaced by unexplained activity inside the house. Others claim that after attempting to burn or destroy items like this, the disturbances escalated, lights flickering, doors opening at night, shadows appearing more frequently. If you were in that situation, if you saw that head turn on its own, what would you have done? Would you throw it away and hope that ends it? Or would you try to cleanse the house? I'd love to hear your thoughts. This next video was captured on a man's Ring camera late at night, and ever since reviewing the footage, he says he hasn't been able to look at his front yard the same way again. Watch.
Caught this on my Ring camera last night.
The movement started from here, and what immediately stands out is the way it moves. It doesn't scatter or disperse like dust caught in infrared light. It holds its shape. The outline remains strangely consistent, almost compact, as it floats forward. Many viewers initially suggested it could be dust, pollen, or an insect passing close to the lens. But typical dust particles caught in night vision tend to expand, blur, or fragment as they move. This form doesn't behave that way. It travels in a controlled path, maintaining structure before slowly fading from view. But that's not the only unsettling detail. In the audio, a faint voice can be heard, like a little girl saying, "We're here." The footage was recorded around 3 a.m., and at this time, no kid should be outside playing. Investigators sometimes warn that entities may mimic children's voices to seem harmless, drawing attention or curiosity rather than fear. But the phrase itself is unsettling. We're here, not I'm here, plural. If it was a trick of the audio system, it's an incredibly eerie coincidence. If it was a child's voice from somewhere off camera, why does it sound so close to the microphone? And if it wasn't either of those things, then what exactly was floating across his yard that night? And if that voice truly said what it sounds like it said, then the question isn't just what was there, but how many? Now in this next clip, a man known online for his extensive doll collection captures something unsettling inside his daughter's bedroom, and it happens while she's asleep. He says it was a normal afternoon, his little girl was taking her nap, the house was quiet, and he was in the living room when he suddenly began hearing loud tapping sounds coming from her room. Listen closely.
What is that? See, it ain't my daughter because she's napping right there on the bed. It sounds like her closet door fell. Try not to wake her up. I don't know. That's not doing it. See, she's snapping, right?
There was no one else in her room and there was no visible movement near her crib or bed. And then, after a short while, something else happens.
Whatever it was not even waking her up. Nah. Come on, man, she's in here sleeping. No, that didn't even wake her up. Come on, man. You need to get out of her room. Dude, I'm telling you, that thing was closed, right? Come on, man. Now why is she sleeping? Man, I am good on that. You need to get out of her room. Play somewhere else. What the thing? You need to stay out of her room.
People familiar with this family already know that the man collects dolls, dozens of them, many antique, some with glass eyes, some displayed throughout the house. Over time, viewers have also claimed to spot strange shadows in the background of previous videos, objects slightly repositioned between cuts, and unexplained noises when no one else was home. Yet despite all of this, he continues to insist that whatever is in the house feels friendly. But that belief is what unsettles many viewers the most, because entities that begin subtly, tapping, knocking, light movement, don't always stay subtle. Some investigators warn that labeling something friendly too quickly can lower natural caution, especially when children are involved. So what exactly is sharing that house with them? I'd love to hear what you think about this one. The following video is about a man who claims the activity in his home became so disturbing that he eventually had to leave and stay at his girlfriend's house just to get a break from it. It started with small disruptions, unexplained bangs in the middle of the night, doors clicking shut when no one was near them, and lights that would suddenly shut off and remain off for several long, deliberate minutes before turning back on by themselves. He describes those moments as the worst part, standing in complete darkness at 4 a.m., waiting, feeling as if something was intentionally holding the room in silence before restoring the light. Then one morning, around 4 a.m., he woke up to the sound of laughter clear enough that his first instinct was to assume it was his TV, but when he checked, the television wasn't even on. Some viewers tried to analyze his situation, but to prove that it wasn't just the house, he decided to leave for a few days and stay at his girlfriend's place. He believed that if the disturbances stopped, then the house was the source. Watch.
So yeah, I've been staying at my girlfriend's house, but guess what, guys? You're not gonna fucking believe it. The ghosts have followed me here. And she's bugging the fuck out. Her mother is bugging the fuck out. And I'm bugging the fuck out. I mean, I guess I should have expected this, but let's just see what's been going on. Her door has been opening in the middle of the night. This closet door has been opening up in the middle of the night, and it's like hard as to open. We put shit in front of it so it wouldn't open. Hearing all types of knocks, hearing people run up and down the stairs. I mean, this house is 100 years old. And then, to top it all off, my girlfriend goes in the shower today, and on the mirror, it says, "We are here." And, the writing is fucked up.
Look at that R. It's like look at that R. Why is it? Oh my god, I'm not doing this shit. I gotta move out. What the? I gotta move out.
Yeah, so that was on the mirror. I mean, it looks like anybody could have written that, but in person, the way it was written is mad weird. It's like squiggly lines. Her mom tried cleaning it with Windex and it wouldn't come off. And then after all that shit happens, her mom goes downstairs, and she's a very religious woman, and she has like this little, I guess, Bible, would you say it is, or what is it? I guess
it's a regular Bible.
Like a Bible.
I'm also sick. I don't have one.
Yeah. So she goes downstairs and looks at it, and she left it closed. She goes down and looks at it, and it's open on the same exact page that her husband and her father died. The same exact day, May 22nd, it says it in the book.
What it says on the page is very like you were meant to hear kind of thing. Like it was just like so weird timing and just like a weird page.
So we're thinking maybe her dad is trying to protect them from whatever I brought in their house. What do you guys think?
According to him, his girlfriend and her mother had never experienced anything unusual in that house before he arrived. To him, this isn't a haunted house situation. It's something attached to him, something that follows him wherever he goes. But there's another layer. He mentions that his girlfriend's house is over 100 years old. Some speculate that perhaps his presence didn't bring anything. Maybe it just triggered something already dormant there. In paranormal belief, certain individuals are thought to act as catalysts, unintentionally amplifying or awakening existing energy in a location. Still, what unsettled people most was when he started having dreams.
What's up? So, I've been MIA. I came back from Cancun, and yeah, I'm tan now. But some wild shit happened to me the other night, and my eyes are going a little bit, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house, and it was around, I swear to God, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
It was 3:30, like on the dot. It was like 3:20, 3:29, 3:20.
And I started, she said I was freaking out in my sleep.
I woke up to uncontrollably shaking right next to me, like literally freaking out, like not screaming, but like loud enough to wake me. And he was freaking out, shaking, like
like a seizure almost.
Yeah, and I had no recollection of it at all. Nothing.
Said his name about 10 times, wouldn't wake up. I smacked him so hard across the face, and that's when he shot up.
And I woke up, and I told her I had this insane dream that I was in my house, and like, I don't know what happened. I thought I was sleeping in my room, and I started getting carried away by, looked like, I don't know, these dark shadow figures. They had like these big nails and teeth and crazy eyes, and I literally got picked up by them, and they were carrying me away. And then I told her that, and then I was like, yo, I have this crazy pain on my arm, and I shit you not, yo, this is legit, like, this is real. Like, Grayson here is like freaked out about it, and so am I. Wait till you see this shit, bro. Wait till you see this shit. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. As soon as she woke me up, I felt something like pain on my arm. And look at that. As hard as she scratches, no matter how hard she scratches, it will not go into my arm like that. Like,
no, this is crazy.
Didn't I tell you, though, when I woke up, my arm was hurting?
Yeah, it's 3.
And it's literally 3 scratches. 2 long ones and a short one.
Vivid dreams involving attack, paralysis, or shadow entities are sometimes interpreted as spiritual oppression, especially when they are accompanied by physical sensations. To make matters worse, he began waking up with unexplained marks on his body, and this made many people believe whatever is in that house is after him. But I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. Now, in this next video, a man is simply filming an update for his followers. He explains that he's recently been uploading more political clips instead of his usual original content because he lost hours at his job and is currently searching for a new one. According to him, political topics are easier to gain traction with, and right now, views matter. While he was filming, this happened. Watch closely.
Alright guys, I'm gonna try and make this one quick. This is just kind of update video. People have been wondering why I've been uploading so many news clips, so many political videos, and why I haven't been uploading any original content lately. As you should know, the American election just happened, and I was getting kind of one video. If you follow my channel, you would know it has 28,000 views. And I tried essentially recreating that, and getting a lot of views, through those political videos. Unsuccessfully, might I add. Basically, what I'm getting at is, in order to fill in the lack of original videos, I've been doing these political clip videos. And the reasoning behind that is because here at home, things are a little difficult. I didn't lose my job, but I lost a lot of hours. And I'm looking for new employment. Which is inhibiting me from creating new content. Makes it a lot easier for me if I can just, find a video clip of some politician or some news anchor saying something really stupid and get some views from that, than it is. It's easier for me to get views from that than it is, new content at the moment. So, just what I'm saying is bear with me. Yeah. It was weird. Got that on tape. Yeah, that. I know you guys aren't gonna believe that really just happened, but as you can see, there's no one in the room with me here. I've kind of chose this room because it was the only room in my house without someone in here. Yeah, that was, guys, this isn't, it's a string, right, but that's just kind of an Ethernet cable. You could, hey guys, that was pretty weird.
People often claim that activity can begin subtly, small disturbances, objects shifting, electronics malfunctioning, before escalating into something more noticeable. There's also the psychological layer. He mentions stress about work, finances, and change, and in certain beliefs, heightened emotional states are said to amplify unexplained phenomena, as if strong energy draws attention from something unseen. We can only hope this was a one-off situation, and not the beginning of something deciding to make itself known. In the following clip, a group of paranormal investigators acquire 2 dolls from separate owners who both claimed the objects were responsible for disturbing activity inside their homes. According to the previous owners, one of the dolls had been linked to persistent knocking sounds that seemed to follow it from room to room. Lights would flicker whenever it was moved, and one family claimed they repeatedly found it repositioned in places they were certain they hadn't left it. The second doll, the one dressed in a red cloth, was reportedly associated with whispering sounds at night and sudden cold spots that formed specifically around the shelf where it sat. One owner even said her child refused to sleep in the same room with it after insisting the doll blinked. Rather than destroy them, the investigators decided to document everything carefully. They placed both dolls on a table in a controlled setting and began a spirit box session, asking direct questions to see if any responses would come through. That's when something happened. Watch.
Light it back up to red. Look. No! Bring that camera over here!
Oh god, he moved!
Still moving. Did you catch it moving?
I think I did, I don't know, I tried to run.
Again. Look, you see it move? I caught it moving. Yeah.
If you look closely at the doll with the red cloth, its head appears to shift slightly to the side. It is believed that objects that have been repeatedly associated with fear, attention, and belief can sometimes become what investigators call trigger objects, meaning they act as focal points for activity because of the emotional energy surrounding them. The red cloth itself also caught viewers' attention. In certain folklore traditions, red fabric is believed to either attract or contain spiritual energy, depending on how it's used. If the doll did move on its own, then the implication is clear. Whatever the previous owners were experiencing may not have been imagination. So if something truly is attached to it, then is bringing it into a new environment going to quiet it, or will it simply give it a new audience? Now in this next video, a man named Chris and his wife decided to install security cameras throughout their home after weeks of increasingly strange activity that neither of them could logically explain. It started subtly, small things out of place, the dog staring into corners of the room and growling at nothing visible, footsteps echoing faintly down the hallway after midnight. A few times, they heard what sounded like someone shifting their weight in the living room while they were upstairs. Once, Chris swears he heard a sigh directly behind him when no one was there. Eventually, they stopped brushing it off and installed cameras to see whether the disturbances had a visible source. One night, Chris was sitting in the living room with the dogs resting nearby when something happened that changed how he viewed the house entirely. Watch. In the footage, a chair begins to tilt backward as if someone were physically leaning into it, applying steady pressure with their weight. What makes it more unsettling is the dog's reaction and how they immediately become alert. And then there's the earlier activity, the footsteps, the sigh, the dogs reacting to empty space. When you layer those experiences together, the chair becomes harder to dismiss as coincidence. If someone unseen truly leaned back into that chair, then the implication is chilling. Chris may not have been alone in that living room, but until more updates are shared, this remains a mystery. The following video was recorded by Ben Bauer and Zach Bryant, who returned to an abandoned factory they had previously explored, a place already surrounded by disturbing rumors, including reports of paranormal activity and a history tied to tragic events, including suicides that many believe may have left something lingering inside the structure. As they approach the building, preparing to enter, something immediately feels off. Watch.
That was too cunt. Hello? Hello? Zach. Oh my god. That was walking down. It was. Hello? That's no, that's walking. Bro, get out. Right, no, that's walking.
Before they even make their way inside, they begin hearing footsteps, clear and deliberate, as if someone is already moving around inside, despite the building being completely abandoned. Eventually, they find a way into the building, pushing further inside to investigate, but the deeper they go, the more the atmosphere begins to shift. Strange noises begin to surface, subtle at first, then harder to ignore. Watch.
I didn't hear anything.
Check the footage when we get over.
Oh, what the f? I can't remember if things were like this when we were here.
No, that shouldn't work.
Bro, look at the water. Fuck. That was mumbling. I just said,
Yeah.
I got it on camera. Bro. I'm getting it on camera.
What is that walking?
Something's mumbling. Can you hear it? Someone is here.
Yeah, very now.
Wait.
Don't you know?
They call out, trying to confirm if someone else is inside, repeating themselves, waiting for any kind of response. But the silence that follows feels just as unsettling as the sounds themselves, because whatever is there doesn't answer. It only listens, and that's when they make a decision that many viewers immediately questioned. Instead of backing out, they decide to provoke a response. They bring out a Ouija board. Watch.
Feel that heat as you walk up.
Oh yeah. I reckon did a Ouija board in this room. Yeah, this looks Knocking. It sounded like boom, boom. That was knocking.
Was it?
Are there any spirits here with us tonight? Move to yes. There it is again. There it is again. What the f*** is that? Boy, that was down in here.
Using a Ouija board in a location already tied to death and heavy history is something many consider extremely risky because rather than simply observing, it opens the door to interaction, inviting anything present to respond, to engage, to make itself known more directly. And almost immediately, something does. They begin to hear movement again, but this time, it's different. The sound of something running up the stairs, not walking, but running towards them. They didn't stay to find out what it was, and honestly, it's hard to blame them, because when something starts moving toward you in a place that should be empty after you've actively tried to make contact, instinct takes over. Most of us wouldn't have waited either. This next clip centers around a moment that likely would have been dismissed instantly if not for one thing, the camera capturing it in real time. A young boy in a wheelchair is moving through what appears to be a quiet area, casually recording, with nothing unusual happening at first. Nothing that would make anyone expect what's about to appear. Watch. At first glance, everything seems normal, but when you look at the mirror behind him, a white figure is seen moving. Some viewers believe this could be a classic apparition, a presence that doesn't fully manifest in the physical space, but becomes visible through reflective surfaces, something that has been reported in various paranormal accounts, where mirrors seem to act as a kind of window rather than just a reflection. Without this footage, without that one moment captured in the mirror, this would have remained just another story no one believed, something easily brushed off or ignored. But now there's something to look at, something to question, and something that still hasn't been explained. Now in this next clip, a man and a woman had just finished saging their home and decided to go live on social media with a group of friends. Something that started as an informal spiritual cleansing, but quickly turned into something neither of them was prepared for. The house was completely dark, the only light coming from the glowing ember of the sage and a small blue electronic light nearby. And the mood, at first, was relatively calm. The man even says on camera that he doesn't feel anything dark in the room, but then the sound started. Watch.
I don't feel anything dark in here. Do you? No. It's probably because we're not like. Please leave. Or get out of here. You're not welcome here. Oh my God. Gotta leave. Should I say Jesus?
Yeah, I don't even know at this point.
We have Jesus here with us. Where's my keys? Okay, let's go. You go first. Go. Look where look where it's at now. It's behind the couch. Y'all see that? It's behind the couch. Look where it's at, in front of the mirror. Look. See the mirror? It's in front of the mirror now. Turn all the lights on. Turn that light on over there too. I'll turn it on.
A sharp metallic clatter at first, almost dismissible, followed by an extremely violent crash, erupting from somewhere off camera, loud enough to make him yell out and grip the phone. He held his ground, addressing whatever was in the room directly, telling it to leave, even asking if he should call on the name of Jesus. And then, mid-sentence, a heavy thump cut him off entirely. That second sound, the one that interrupted him, sent him running. Both of them left the house for over an hour. But here's the thing, when they came back and unlocked the door, the sage stick, which had been sitting near the blue light in the center of the room, was no longer there. If you look carefully at where it's glowing, you can see it's now positioned near the mirror. Some believe this is a direct response to the spiritual cleansing, that invoking protection, especially through religious invocation, provoked a reaction rather than resolved one. Others think the object moving is the more unsettling detail, because it suggests something wasn't just making noise, it was interacting. So what do you think moved it? The following video was recorded by two employees, a man and a woman, working a closing shift alone at what appears to be a commercial food service location, the kind of place where most people are gone by a certain hour and whoever's left behind is completely on their own. According to the man, who started filming almost immediately after it happened, the two of them had walked into the walk-in freezer during their shift when the door simply stopped opening. No mechanical warning, no explanation, just a sealed exit and the ambient hum of industrial refrigeration. Watch.
We're the only two on shift and we are trapped inside. Literally push. Okay.
Oh my god, stop.
See?
No!
We are, oh wow, it's
oh my
real
god,
dark.
Oh my god, oh my god.
We are literally trapped in the walk-in.
Ready?
Look. Push hard, push hard.
I am. Oh my gosh.
So, this is what the spirits do in this store. I can't breathe. Okay. So, I'm out of breath. Am I that out of shape? Spirit, is there a reason that you're doing this right now? Did we do something to upset you? It is so cold.
I'm freezing.
Okay, so this is some of the stuff that happens. So we're just gonna wait until it's done.
The man presses his full body weight against that large, grey, insulated door, and it doesn't budge. And then the overhead light shuts off entirely, leaving the two of them in the dark with only the woman's phone flashlight cutting through the cold air, their breath visible as vapor, and 6 rapid knocks echoing from somewhere they can't identify. He addresses the darkness directly, asking the spirit whether they'd done something to upset it, and the almost casual way he says it, like he's had this kind of conversation before, is what makes the moment feel less like a stunt and more like something these two already half expected. What's harder to dismiss is the sequence of that knocking, because it didn't come from the door they were pushing against. It came from somewhere else inside that enclosed space, and by the time they share that nervous laugh at the end of the clip, nearly every viewer in the comments had stopped treating it as a coincidence. In the next footage, things don't calm down, they get more structured. Watch.
It's 4:58. We're gonna call another employee and try to get him to come in if this doesn't open in time.
You better pick up, I'm so cold.
Every time we tap. Wait, what if I tap 3? Now you won't flicker the light? Really? Hello? Oh, okay.
What the hell? Oh my god. What What the fuck?
It's getting so cold that my hands are pruning. This is good. Can you flicker the light if you are upset? Can you... I don't even know what to ask.
Can you put...
And this knob? Oh, whoa.
What the hell?
Doesn't even do anything.
The light fixture begins responding directly and immediately to what's being said, flickering off the moment the man asks it to, turning back on when he goes quiet, and the woman's reactions, the sharp gasps, the what the hell, the genuine disbelief in her voice, don't read like performance. They read like someone who keeps expecting a rational explanation and keeps not finding one. When a haunting manifests through light rather than shadow, some paranormal researchers describe it as a lower energy presence, something that can't yet move physical objects, but can draw from electrical current, a theory sometimes connected to poltergeist behavior in its earlier stages, where the entity builds from small disturbances toward larger ones. Skeptics would point to a faulty ballast or a worn electrical contact inside the fixture, and honestly, that explanation holds right up until the moment the light responds to a specific question in under a second. Then it gets worse. Watch.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Is there a reason that you have us in the walk-in?
What? Oh my...
What time is it now? We have been in here for like 15 minutes total. Maybe like 11.
Holy shit.
Can you please let us out, Spirit? Is Dan on his way?
I called him, yeah, he said he's coming now.
Okay. So I'm gonna literally go back here to the back of the walk-in so the fan's not blowing on me. Can you show my arm?
Literally,
I'm like pruning from the cold. That's how long we've been in here. Oh. I have goosebumps. Just flickering. Oh!
Oh, okay.
Nope, that didn't work. I'm not understanding. Oh my god!
They ask the spirit directly whether it has a reason for keeping them inside, and the light flashes on in what feels like an answer, then later flickers erratically, while a cardboard box launches off the top shelf with a force that sends both of them into genuine panic. That box didn't slide. It came off with momentum, and the timing, right as the light was going haywire, and one of them said, "I don't understand this," makes the sequence hard to chalk up to vibration or uneven shelving. Some people watching these clips have started using the term poltergeist, which comes from the German words for noisy ghost, and traditionally describes an entity associated with physical disturbances, thrown objects, slamming doors, disrupted electricity, often linked in folklore to emotionally charged environments, or, in some traditions, to a specific living person in the space acting as an unwitting focal point. Whether that framework fits here is something you'd have to decide for yourself. The escalation continues into the next clip, and this is where it crosses into something more physical. Watch.
Oh my god! Okay, okay, I'm back under here.
The light's like off now.
I know. I don't understand what we did. Can you just let us out? Like, it's so stupid. Okay, great.
Oh
thank you for that. Is there a reason that we're in here?
Is that like a yes?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Okay, so... Okay.
Oh.
We honestly don't know what's going on, and it's just flickering. Oh!
Oh, okay.
Nope, that didn't work. I'm not understanding. Oh my god! Okay, Spirit! Okay. Just wait, relax.
After the light responds again to a direct question, the woman saying, "That was a yes," when it flickers, the man reaches up and actually tries to unscrew the cover of the light fixture, seemingly trying to find a mechanical cause, and the moment the light goes out completely and he's still holding the cover, a white container and several other items are thrown violently from the top shelf. the crash loud enough to make the camera jerk downward, the woman screaming and then laughing from nerves, because sometimes that's all you can do. He tells the spirit to relax, and the fact that that's his response, not running, not shutting the camera off, but talking to whatever is in there with them, says something about how far gone the situation already is. For many viewers following this series, that thrown object is the turning point, because light manipulation can be explained, a stuck door can be explained, but something leaving a shelf with that kind of force in direct response to someone disturbing the fixture is a different category of activity entirely. And like and subscribe if you're enjoying watching this video. The next clip may be the most unsettling of all, because by this point the two of them have been locked inside for roughly 20 minutes and the activity isn't winding down. Watch.
Know what's going on, and it's just flickering. Oh,
okay.
Nope, that didn't work. I'm not understanding. Oh my god! Okay, spirit! Okay. Just wait, relax. Are you in here with us?
Oh my god!
I have the security cameras up. It's 5:19. 5:19.
Yeah.
And Dan is hopefully on his...
Wait.
Dan is a minute away.
Thank God. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because he probably has no service. Dan?
Oh my god, it's...
The man touches the base of the light fixture again. It flickers and goes dark, and then in the blackout, a deep guttural sound is heard close enough to the microphone that he screams and drops the phone entirely, describing afterward that he heard a whisper in his ear and saw a shadow face before losing control of the camera. And whatever that sound was, it's audible enough on the recording that calling it ambient noise or a mechanical hum doesn't quite hold. He pulls up a security camera feed on a second phone, watching the exterior, checking the time, 5:19, waiting for someone named Dan to arrive from outside, and then the banging starts on the door from the other side, and both of them call out his name like it's the best sound they've ever heard. What they never fully address, though, is what made that sound in the dark before Dan knocked, because that came from inside the freezer, not outside it, and no one else was in there with them. In the following video, a man was walking through a storage complex late at night when he noticed something strange reflecting off the side of a stack of boxes. At first, it looked like the shadow of a person standing completely still, but the moment he turned the corner to see who was there, the entire space ahead of him was empty. Take a look.
Quiero que chequen algo en esa tarima de ahí. Eso. Y chequen, estoy yo solo. No hay nadie aquí. Ni de este lado, ni para acá. Vean, nada. Puto almacén. Vacío está su pinche madre.
He slowly walks down the long, stretched aisle between the rows of storage units, sweeping his light left and right as he passes each gap. But there's nobody. The space is silent, the concrete floors untouched, and no weird sounds echo. The shadow he saw moments earlier should have belonged to someone standing right there, yet there's no sign of movement, no footsteps, and nowhere to hide. By the end of the clip, he's fully convinced he saw something that wasn't human, and he wasn't wrong. Later on, security footage from the facility was checked, and it confirmed that not a single person entered or exited during the time he filmed. Whatever cast that shadow wasn't supposed to be there, and it left no trace behind except the moment it revealed itself. Basements are the most likely place in somebody's house to be haunted, and for Taz, that idea has basically become a daily reality. Activity in his basement has picked up so much recently that he now films every single time he goes down there, just in case something happens. This time, he was carrying a load of laundry down the stairs, trying to act normal, even though he admits the place never feels empty.
A ghost lives in my basement. Activities have picked up, so I decided to record every time I go down there. This time I caught it on video.
He sets the laundry on the counter, the camera catching the whole room behind him while he starts sorting through clothes and loading them into the washing machine. Everything is quiet for a moment, just the sound of fabric rustling, until something in the background suddenly moves. A bright yellow object sitting on the wall shifts on its own in a very obvious way, like someone nudged it. Taz doesn't notice at first, still focused on the washer, but the object continues to wobble before collapsing entirely a few seconds later, falling off the shelf as if pushed. There's nobody else in the basement, no draft, nothing touching it. This wasn't a light object being blown over either. It was something heavy enough that it only ever moves when something interacts with it. For Taz, it's just more evidence that whatever is living in that basement hasn't calmed down at all and might actually be getting stronger. In a haunted housing complex, the Scottish Ghost Company returned to one of the strangest locations they've ever investigated, an abandoned multi-house property where they've had responses before. It's just the two of them, a man and a woman, walking slowly through the empty rooms with nothing but their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They remind viewers that nobody else is anywhere in the entire complex, and the silence around them feels impossibly heavy. Eventually, they step into a room they call one of the most active spots in the building and greet whatever spirit might still linger there. They ask if it can open the door for them, half expecting nothing to happen, but of course, something does.
Hi everybody, I know you can't see us very well, but we are here.
Hi!
Hi. We are alone in a building which, sorry, I'm just going to turn you around. Yeah, we are alone in this old
warehouse complex.
We have set up a room video. We've been live on Facebook and we've had quite good responses from a door moving on its own in here.
So the only other living person is the security guard, who is about 3 buildings away. So there's absolutely nobody except us in the whole area.
So we've heard so many loud bangs in here. So we're going to try and do it again. Hi Spirit, we're back again. Is it? There we go. Well, when we left this, it was open.
It was wide open.
Spirit, if you're still with us, I know I said I wasn't coming back, Could you...
I'm just so impressed with what you were able to do.
Can you open the door, please, if you're still with us?
Oh my god.
Thank you so much. What was that?
Oh my god.
Okay, Spirit, thank you. Can you close it again, please? Close the door over, please. We're really impressed. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Well done. Now...
A moment later, the door begins to move, slowly and smoothly, swinging fully open without a single creak. Both of them stare with wide eyes, shocked, but keeping surprisingly calm as they thank the spirit. Then they ask if it can close the door again multiple times, but there's a brief pause before the door gently pulls itself shut, the same smooth movement as before. The whole interaction is clear, controlled, and impossible to explain, but at least the investigators and I got content. A team of paranormal agents were visiting a preserved heritage home that once caught fire decades ago. They had been invited to document any lingering activity, and on this particular night they decided to use a Ouija board, along with a few basic pieces of equipment to see if anything would respond. The room was calm at first, quiet except for the soft beeps of their devices checking for movement or EMF spikes. Take a look.
Steven was a name that we had come to know throughout our time there that could potentially unravel some of the story that we had come to find out.
So we're trying to see if anybody's here.
Maybe somebody named Steven or...
Immediately the REM pod as soon as he said Steven.
And it hasn't gone off.
It hasn't gone off
in
even
hours.
During the live stream. It didn't go off at all. And solid. It did go off earlier that one time in the bathroom, but...
That's really weird.
What was that?
Yeah, you heard that too?
Yeah, it was a shh. I heard something behind me. Oh my god. Okay, let's say goodbye.
As soon as one of them mentioned the name Stephen, a former resident who lived there before the fire, the equipment lit up instantly, as if something was acknowledging the name. Shortly after, they heard something strange say, "Find me to them both," as if beckoning them to explore this place further. Both investigators froze, shocked by how clear and direct the message was. While they tried to process it, something else in the room started drawing their attention. On the far wall, an old decoration hanging from a hook began to gently sway back and forth, even though nobody was near it. The rest of the room remained still. No windows open, nothing that could have caused it. The timing made it feel like Stephen, or whatever answered to that name, was trying to guide them somewhere, or warn them of something he could not show himself. The agents quickly realized they were dealing with something intelligent, and this heritage home still held more secrets than anyone imagined. It started as one of those nights where the silence feels heavier than sleep, and this guy at Camp Shields in Okinawa, Japan, could tell something was off the moment he sat up in the dark feeling watched. He had just thrown his helmet toward the door where he swore the presence came from, and now he was talking into the empty room like he expected something to answer, almost pleading for the ghost to show it was real. It had already woken him up, so why not continue?
I didn't just see a hand. You mad or what? You mad I threw that helmet at you? Do it again. Make some noise. Show me you're real. Island. Show me. Satan ass motherfucker. Show me. Prove to me that you're real. Do it. What, you mad? Show me. Swing some shit. Make them noises and shit that you did when you woke me up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh, bro.
He waits, hears knocking like the ghost is getting mad, and an orb crosses the screen. The moment that orb drifts by, his whole energy shifts because he knows he didn't imagine that knock, and he definitely didn't imagine something moving across the room. You can hear the nervous laugh behind his voice, but also that moment of regret when it hits him that maybe he pushed a little too hard. People always think they want proof until the lights go quiet again, and you're alone with whatever just answered you, and he suddenly seems very aware that asking for a sign might have invited something closer than he ever expected. It picked up right where he left off, the room still feeling tight and charged, like the air didn't reset after that orb passed, and he kept the camera pointed at the corner because he swore something was still moving in there. He tried to steady his breathing, but before he even got close to being calm, the cupboard behind him opened and slammed shut like something inside was answering with attitude.
Part 2.
Bruh. Hey! Hey, chill the f out. I'm tired of your shit. Hey! Cut that shit off. Stop. Fuck up!
He turns, trying to get a good angle while filming as 2 knocks hit from inside the cupboard. He tells it to chill the fuck out. Then a harsh scraping sound erupts, followed by something falling to the floor. The sound sends him spinning back toward the camera, because that scrape was way too real, and way too close for him to pretend it was nothing. And you can hear in his voice that it is no longer curiosity pushing him forward, but straight up panic holding him in place. There is this moment where he just freezes, staring at the cupboard like he is waiting to see if whatever is in there is going to come out. And you can tell he knows he crossed a line. He had asked for proof, and now it felt like something was trying to claw its way into the room just to give it to him. And that regret hit him harder than anything the ghost could throw.